Hey, morning adventurers. I'm out at Dural Valley National Park again, and this morning what I'm going to do is take a detour. So last time I did the Quarry Road loop. Okay, so that's down here at the start of Quarry Road in Dural. We went up this way. Today I'm going to take the turn. We're going to do Pogson's trail and go down to Fishponds. All right, so if you're heading out to Quarry Road at Dural, once you park here at the start, you've got the signage right here, and what you're going to do is just go up. It's actually not that far to the first turn. Head here, and then we're going to come across this way so you can see what Pogson's and Fishponds looks like. Taking this route is a really good way if you're trying to get some elevation training to find that elevation very, very quickly, and I'll show you where that exists over. There's some really good sets of stairs down in this area. All right, let's get going. So the first bit of the trail when you're on Quarry Road itself is just really nice and flat. Flat, sandy, nice big fire trail. So easy going. Hey, so 600 meters into your run, if you've come in from Quarry Road on the Dural side, you're going to see this concrete pillar. My understanding is I think this is part of the old Trig station. So you got that. Yep, there you go. There's a survey marker on top. And you've got this signage over here. So the rifle range is off in that direction. Pogson's Trig Trail, which is where we're going to head, and Fishponds are down here. So let me just zoom in on the map for you so you can locate yourself. So we're coming from Quarry Road, come up first juncture, so it's 600 meters in if you parked at Quarry Road, and we're going to head down this way. Okay, and that's Fishponds waterhole. So from here down, it's pretty much going straight down because we're coming down to the creek here. So this is this next bit until we get to Fishponds. See a lot of really cool descent. All right, let's go. Yep. More sandy fire trail as we begin this descent. Not as wide as Quarry Road, and certainly in places it's not for the first bit. But yeah, it's still easily accessible if the fire service had to get in here. So it's a nice wide track, really flat, a lot stonier, but yeah, first section's very flat. So I've just hit the first K. If you look down here, it's pretty stony, still fire trail. You're in like a constant descent now at this 1K point, and what you see is that at some point the National Parks, whoever maintains this area, has come off and pushed all of the larger stones just off to the side. So it's pretty easy going, but you get quite a lot of larger stones underfoot. So as you're coming down, just be mindful of your footing because they're all very, very loose. But yeah, this is the easy part. This is the fun part, coming down this hill. All right, so we're about 1.1 Ks in. Start to see some really decent kind of rocky outcrops on your right, which is very cool. On the left too, so the path is cut straight through that point. You've got like a really good solid descent going on here now. But yeah, very, very easy to get distracted just because the terrain you're going through is just really, it's really pretty, really beautiful stuff. Little caves in here. Have a look at that. Always worth stopping and just having a look at some of the neat stuff going on. Got cave, there's another outcrop here, which if you're camping, and I suspect a few people have, this is a really good spot. It's a bit more open. And that other cave just backs out there as well. So yeah, very cool. Let's continue down. So at the 1.25K mark, it's completely flattened out. It's actually really good, easy running. Down in this section, it's quite flat. It's quite clear. Stones aren't too big underfoot. So yeah, this is really nice. You can definitely feel the vegetation changing down here. It's a lot more like rainforest and less like that dry bush up on the top of the hill at the start of the trail. It's amazing how just in such a short space it can really shift. But yeah, it's extremely pretty, as you can see. So just make this turn here. And you'll see, there we go. That gives you a good view of some of the trail just zoomed down. So at 1.5 Ks, we've just come down the trail there. We've got all this really cool rocky outcrop that would be so good to explore. Pretty sure that would just be absolutely littered and filled with caves and probably rock art in there if you were that way inclined. And that continues over that side there. You can see some more of those large boulders. And yeah, we're essentially just going to keep heading down this trail. So fairly steep gradient in a couple of places, not just for the coming up, but even the coming down. Like, it's actually pretty steep, so you do need to be mindful of your footing. So 1.7 Ks into the trail, which we've just come from that point down to here, you're going to see this really flat plateau, which is just a great place. So if you do spot this sign here, there isn't any kind of marked trail, although you do get a couple of sections where they put these rocks in, I think essentially to stop people thinking it's the trail, make sure that's understood. But if you just head out onto that plateau there, the view's incredible. Let's do a quick detour so you can appreciate it. Yeah, I think the detour was worth it. Check this out, you're gonna love it. So here's the edge. And then look at this out onto the valley. How good is it? Okay, this is just stunning. Just absolutely stunning. Zoom right back so you can try and take it all in. Just this incredible rocky big boulders on this outcrop. The creek, the river down the bottom, right down the bottom of that. But yeah, this is just incredible country. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. So yeah, trail running, it's always great to get out and run in nature. I think the important thing is don't forget to enjoy it. Don't forget to take these little detours. Check out these incredible places. I could literally spend hours out here. It's stunning. So that was detour time. Let's get back out onto the track. All right, let's go. So at 1 Ks, you're gonna hit this clearing and this is where the fun begins. Okay, you're gonna notice this tree over to my side and then there's the signage down the back. So this is the really good bit of the trails about. You'll have come just down this track. So you'll see this tree, pretty hard to miss and very cool too. So again, let's just take a look at that. The way that hole is opened up in the bottom, but it's still very, very much alive. And then over here, let's just head over this way. Here we go, so this is the start of the track. So just so you can see your signage, you've got Great North Walk, Quarry Road, okay, and Dural National Park. Okay, so we're gonna head down. Let's have some fun. Hey, so just so there's no confusion, that little juncture that I showed you with the signage, take the right hand side. If you go left, you won't go far. It's just a really cool lookout, which you can see from over here. But you're gonna take the right, come down, and then you're gonna come to these cut steps, and you're on your way. As you come down here, lots of cut steps. So someone really did a ton of work to get this trail here for us, so you got to appreciate that. All right, 2 kilometers in, we're coming down. It's flattened out, it's pretty sandy. We've got this stone plateau where the steps have been cut straight through the center, which is an incredible feat. Plateau extends over there, but here you go, you got to stop here, especially first thing on a Sunday morning. Look at this, huh? Look at this, how gorgeous is it? How amazing is it? So that up there is where we were earlier, so we're getting down closer to the creek. I won't go too close to the edge, but you just got this great rocky outcrop everywhere. You can see in years gone by where the water has pulled up on here, created these really interesting lines. So it must have, yeah, the geology, some interesting stuff going on. But yeah, so we're about to head down that way. Let's go. All right, here we go, off between the rocks. I love this part. This is one of the coolest parts of the trail down to Pogson's. Check these stairs out. These ones are really cool. I think they all are, but just the work. I can't even imagine what this must have been like to cut through this area and create these stones. So massive respect and massive thanks to whoever did that. Because seriously, it's just amazing, and it just unlocks this incredible area for anyone who wants to get out on the trails. Here we go. There is this sign just here. All right, so take note of this one, and the main reason I say that is because there is another trail that heads off to the left. It's cool to explore, it just goes around underneath those rocky outcrops. But if you're heading to Fishponds, this away off to your right when you see it. As you come to this little support, and I'll stop filming us, this is the first time you will not only start to hear the water, but see it. So it's just we're almost there. If it's your first time coming down to Fishponds, I'd recommend use that rail, okay? Because the main reason being it's really, really mossy here, really pretty slippery. A lot of people hang on to it and then actually step down backwards off that because you can't always get the best traction on this rock. And then you've got these 2 triangular wedges that have been cut in. Again, confident runners, people familiar with the track will just jump straight over this point, particularly when it's dry. If you're out here hiking, not familiar, realize your shoes don't have the best grip, not even a bad idea to turn around at this point and place your right foot there and your left foot here and come down. Just see that slide off on this section here and end up in the drink. But I think when you get here, just remember swimming's out of bounds. A lot of people see this, particularly in the middle of summer, go, oh wow, be awesome just to cool off here. If you were desperate, you could. Look, years gone by, I reckon no problem at all. You definitely could do that. But these days what you got is there's a lot of stormwater runoff that feeds into this creek.
behind me, sadly. So if you were to do that now, chances are you're going to be swimming in sewage and everything else that could be down there. So yeah, try to stay out of the water if you can. We've just made that right-hand turn at the bottom of the trail. We're coming across parallel to the creek, and so we're on its western side. There is an overhang and an old cave here. Absolutely no doubt that at some point people would have used this for habitation. And then we have got the actual stepping stones across Fishponds. So let's take a look. It's a lot of they're really visible today. There's times where they're completely underwater, and there's other times where they're almost flush with the water, which gives you that walking on water feeling. All right, so today's a good day. You can actually see them. It's pretty stunning down here, so it's well worth the effort to get down. It's really not far, only 2.3 k's in, and that's with a couple of little detours as well. So head across the stepping stones. And up onto the other bank. All right, when we get up here, just remember, head to your right. If you go down to the left, you'll end up in a dead end. It is cool, but it's just that little sandy beach that you could see earlier. Yeah, so there are some trails there, but completely overgrown, not maintained. So once you cross Fishponds, head off to your right, and you can see those cut stones there. So pretty easy to know where to go. Just to give you another view of not only Fishponds down the bottom and the creek, but actually just looking up top at all that rocky overhang. So that's the rocky area that we just came down before, and then our path continues on up this way. So 2.4 k's in, we've come only about 100 meters past Fishponds. There is this little viewing area. We've got some more signage. So you can see Quarry Road, Dural, so 2.1, I guess that's without the detours. That's heading back to where we came from. If you want to take the Blue Gum walking trail at Great North Walk off to the right, so that's up there. I'll put my hand out so that way. That'll take you up there. I'll show you that sign in a moment. The only reason I'm pointing this out is because this is your main kind of juncture on this side. You've got, let me get a bit closer so you can see. All right, so those are your walks. If you take the path to the high side, and down below there's a second path. Hopefully you can see that. Let me get closer so that you can. Okay, there we go. Right, so there you track some distances if you take this path off to the right, so left or right. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the high road path, the one to the left, and I'm gonna head up here and show you what's up this way. All right. This section of the track is actually part of the Great North Walk, and you would have seen that on the signage earlier. Main reason for that I mentioned out is you actually see a lot of hikers on this part. This bit's not mountain biking friendly at all, but yeah, plenty of people hike this section. So yeah, and here you go. Here's a little footbridge. That's a bit of a local landmark for people. So it's only 2.45 k's in from where I started, but accepting that might be out a little bit because of the couple of detours that I've taken. So yeah, we're not that far up. Oh, cobweb. All right, you're gonna get a lot of that, particularly in the morning. Leeches too, so just be aware of that, be mindful of that. And out here, this is kind of the obvious place you expect to get leeches. Down near the creek, you can see how wet everything is, but I've actually had them up on top of the ridgeline as well. So, which is really interesting. I think the most I've ever had to pick off was up on top of the ridgeline when I'd avoided Fishponds altogether and taken another route. So yeah, very pretty track. I'll let the vision speak for itself, and a lot more natural rock cuttings in this section as we head up. but really not a difficult climb here, not a steep climb in this section. Well, this fallen tree didn't used to be here on the track, but I guarantee it's definitely added to the adventure. It's pretty cool to be able to go under it. So yeah, so here's the track, just in case you were like not sure. Hang on, do I go under that? Yes, you do. All right, 1, 2, 3, up. There we go. All right, then we get some logs and stone, but yeah, wow, that was big. That was a really big one. Looking at this from the top of that section, it must have been spectacular when this tree came down. If you look at the bark and its orange color, I don't think it's been down for too long, because you've got what's left of the base of the tree and its root system there, and that's the connecting part which has fallen down there, snagged on this tree here, and then we've got the rest of it. That is a big tree, and then other sections have actually snapped off up there as well. So yeah, it would have been quite the incident, quite the episode when that came down, and no, it doesn't look like it's been down that long at all. All right, so about 100 meters so back that way is where we just came past the big fallen tree. Okay, this is your next sign. There's not a lot of signage in this area, so when you do see it, it's good to take note. Now you can see Blue Gum Walk, Hornsby Station. So I'm going to head off this way, up these really well-formed stairs. There is another track back here, you can just see with the wooden bridge. If you're looking for vert training for UCA or any other kind of trail running, that way. And I might take a detour back that way on the way back, because there's an incredible set of stairs which heads up all the way up the top there. So I'll try and see if we got time to fit that in, but we're going to go on the Blue Gum Walk and head up this way. Let's go. There you go, this one, nice and well signed. So that makes life easy. So when you get to the top, we're just gonna head straight and head up this way. All right, I'm down in the bottom of the valley now, and you might be able to make it out behind me on both sides. So fairly steep climbs both ways up, just absolutely dotted with rocky outcrops, caves, all sorts of really incredible, interesting stuff. Right now, as you can see, it's like really overgrown. But you know, coming back 6-7 years ago, we're in the end of what was a fairly significant drought. So where you can see all those very large boulders, like they're easily the size of sort of like the front cab of a truck, if not even larger. Actually a lot larger, to be honest, when I look at one like this. All this section through here, and this side we've got all these ferns, where there's more rocky outcrops on that. This was all not bare, but it was really dry, kind of open bush and scrub. Back then, during the drought, yeah, you didn't have all this greenery down here, and I was able to get exploring and go up to that section up there and head up over there. You have to be mindful of snakes, obviously, but in saying that, there's just incredible stuff to see everywhere through this valley. So this is one of the best things that if we ever do have a dry spell again, and knowing what Australia's like, it's pretty much guaranteed, definitely this is a great time. I'll be heading straight out here to have a look. This is still visible, which is really cool. This one of the larger stones that's just broken in two, and you can use this as a point of reference, because in the past I have, and I will climb so you can go through it or around it, and there's a track that takes you up there. It's just looking off to the right on the track. Like, look at the size of that overhang there. It's just incredible. And then, you know, coming down, I reckon you can still do it now, just be a bit trickier getting through. But you know, this again is another standout feature on the track. You've got this rock which has this natural cutting in it. I don't know, it might have been enhanced by humans, and that edge. And it's just very interesting. Very cool, very interesting. Yeah, some really incredible sights out here. So if you want to stay on the blue gum walk, which we're going to do, head to the right. This is a new section I've heard about. I don't actually know exactly where that goes. So I might have a little look at it later, but I said we're heading on blue gum, so we're going to do that. So head to the right, and this is almost dead on 3Ks into this trip. Personally, I find this section of blue gum heaps easier to do than some of that trail coming down to Pogson's, only because you've essentially got sand and soil mix, so I find you can get a better grip even when it's really wet like it is here this morning and damp. So this feels more comfortable underfoot. That's just for me. You know, the great trail runners just float over this stuff like they're elves. So that's purely my comment. If you know, you're in my category of trail running, which they get out and I love it, but I'm not great at it. Oh look, we can call this mini Fishponds. When there's a lot of rain, this actually does flood out proper, and you've got to wade through this section. Mention this and show you this purely because that's like the best place if you want to get leeches all over your legs. That's the champion location to do it. But once we pass that point, you're essentially back out in civilization again. You're home right there. I do appreciate how someone's laid this bit of matting down. There's one puddle, I still managed to step in it. We paid a lot of money for these hockers, we're trying to keep them dry, right? So here we go, we're at the other end of the Blue Gum track. There is Hornsby Park, right there. And if you're looking for somewhere to park on the other side, it's Lochinvar Place and Rosemead Road. This section right here. So hope you enjoyed that. If I take one of those detours on the way back, I'll throw that in as well.